Live from New York. It's the show that's not putting a tremendous amount of faith in doctors on Twitter.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Speak for yourself.
Exactly right.
That's on next. This is First Things First. Today, Rodgers. It's interesting how lowly regarded the Lakers' job is within NBA circles. So hold on, Brew. Is being the head coach for the Lakers not even a good job?
I'm going to look at this objectively. Let's look at the good points.
Oh, good.
2 top 15 players, stars. I think you got some solid role players. All right. It's a playoff caliber roster. All right. And this is strictly basketball reasons. The bad. It's title or bust. Unfortunately.
S-Bob.
S-Bob, absolutely. You will be scapegoated if you don't win the championship.
Yep.
You will get the blame. There's little way to improve the roster. All right. And then finally, the Western Conference is tough and deep and only going to be even better next year. So it looks like a bad job, but I'll say this. If the Lakers ownership and front office would empower the coach through years and through money, you now give him the security to have the authority. But without that type of security to coach the team the way you want, because you know you're not going to, a player can't fire you and media opinions out there can't get you fired. If you have that security, you can have the authority. But without the security, there's no authority. Without the authority, there's no success. All right? So, look, the Clippers' job isn't a good job at this point. It's somewhat similar to the Lakers, but their players get hurt all the time with the Clippers. But Ty Lue has the security because of the money and the years that he can coach the team, and it's a good job. And you can't just say he's got a championship. Frank Vogel had a championship. He got fired. All right? Darvin Ham got you to the in-season tournament championship, whatever that's worth. Western Conference Finals, he got fired. So you have to empower the coach. Otherwise, this is a bad situation where you're probably going to be gone in a couple of years.
It's going to be it's not a good job as long as Rob Pelinka's there.
Yikes, man.
And I did a similar pros and cons. My first thing I've written down is there's a long list of pros and a long list of cons. Some of the pros that you didn't mention are unique to the Lakers' job, which is its location, its history, which I do think is attractive to NBA players. LeBron James didn't just pick Los Angeles. There's 2 teams there. He picked the Lakers. And the Lakers brand still means something similar to the New York Yankees brand and the Dallas Cowboys brand. And to me, it's more impactful in basketball than other sports because one singular player can change your fortune so much. You can do that in football as well, but football, those players don't change teams typically. You know what? And so that can't be duplicated elsewhere. What is frustrating if you're a Lakers fan is, to me, one of the biggest cons is ownership. That's not going to change. Another one of the biggest cons is the front office, which could change. But one of the reasons the job's not attractive is, as Bruce said, because you will be scapegoated. And now we can blame that on LeBron, but I don't think that's fair. We can blame that on the media. That's partial. That's a bit of it. But it is also constant CYA mode from the Lakers front office. And if you are, why is the conversation about Rob Pelinka's job not happening right now today? If we take the Lakers ostensibly at their word, they had a target. They spent they've had 6 weeks since they fired their coach. They have had, we've seen other coaches get hired elsewhere. Borrego's meeting now with another team. We'll see. It seems like they have, according to some reports, turned off or offended J.J. Redick. They might end up being a man without a country because you couldn't land your guy. And what does he have to say about it? Well, nothing, because he doesn't hold press conferences. When is he going to answer for any of this? Awkwardly, when you're announcing someone else? What is the evidence that we have that Rob Pelinka and this Lakers regime knows what they're doing? Because LeBron James wanted to come there when he was still in the prime of his career. That's it.
And they got AD.
And they got
largely that was through Clutch.
And so LeBron, let's just call if we want to say LeBron made them get Russ, let's say on the other hand LeBron got them Anthony Davis, call those two, call it even on the LeBron element here. LeBron picked them because of where they were and because they're the Lakers. But what pre-LeBron and since those moves have we seen that makes you think they know what they're doing? And to publicly whiff on Danny Hurley, that it is not unprecedented across major industries for one massive whiff to be like, sorry, buddy, you've lost our faith. This was your plan, evidently, and you couldn't land it. Like, you said it, Wildes. They let it negotiate on this guy's terms, and he spurned him, and he's out here recruiting for UConn today.
Well, in that situation in particular, maybe Jeannie Buss was like, look, this is as high as we'll go. 6 years, $70 million. Maybe wanted to get more money. Look, I honestly think, and I said it, this was some of the theories, one of the theories going around in the league.
Yeah.
It really seems like Hurley used them to get a bigger contract. Right. Because he's probably not going to get more money. Probably get a little bit less from UConn.
Yeah, it's going to be
but
less.
He's going to go back.
I think Woj was reporting around the edges on it. He doesn't have it firm, but it's less.
And it should be noted, and I know other people have pointed this out, but I don't know if everyone, I mean, when you see Woj on TV, when he's not in studio, behind him is the book he wrote, which is on Danny Hurley's father. Oh, yeah. So there is obviously real connection there, long-time connection there with the family. And by the way, that's one of the things that makes Woj a good reporter. I'm not casting aspersions there, but he's very connected with Hurley. What's also true is, and we forgot it, or I forgot it yesterday when we were talking the money, Danny Hurley already turned down $11 million a year this cycle. That's what Kentucky offered him. So I just don't know why you thought that would get it done. And here's the other piece of it. Other NBA teams right now that aren't in the playoffs, is their coach working with the front office on draft prep? Are they talking about prospects? Are they formulating a plan if we draft this guy, if we don't? Are they talking free agency? Are they talking potential trades? Hand in glove with their coach. The Lakers have missed out on all of that. And now, what best case scenario? They have a coach that's hired 4 days before the NBA draft. The draft's in 2 weeks. Darvin Ham got fired 6 weeks ago. It's not a well-run operation. So I think it could be a good job, even though the team doesn't have a ton of money. But right now, I don't think it is.
All right. Finally, it's our quarterly update on Cuffs the Legend. He pops up every once in a while.
Cuffs?
Yeah. He kicks
I've
around
been on his podcast.
Have you?
Yeah.
I didn't even know he really existed.
We both have been on his podcast.
There we go.
Have you?
What's up? No.
It's Cuffs the Legend podcast and The Herd with Colin Cowherd. 2 shows Wild yet to be invited
What's Cuffs the Legend's podcast called?
Cuffs the Legend podcast.
Cuffs.
Well, anyways, he kicked around the theory that LeBron is not focused on winning. People are saying LeBron doesn't want to win anymore. I have no idea what they're talking about, LOL. To which LeBron said, do they ever know what they're talking about? I mean, it's
Cuffs, one of the people LeBron is still following on Twitter.
Oh,
I know that's been a big
how
story.
dare you?
It's just been a story who he is and isn't following on Twitter. That's all.
Break.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Give me a break. All right. Do you believe winning is still LeBron's top priority?
I mean, LeBron wants to win. I don't think that's a question.
Well, yeah, no.
No, because here's what the issue is. People are going to say, because he won't go to Phoenix for the minimum, he's not interested in winning. Well, what star is going to take the minimum, Nick, to go to a better situation? Well, I'm just saying. And a lot of stars, even though they want to win, they want to be in a favorable situation otherwise as well. So I'm not going to criticize LeBron if he doesn't go to Philly, where they have the cap room to pay him max money. I'm not going to say that means he doesn't want to win. So, a lot of stars don't move on. They're comfortable where they're at. Did Damian Lillard want to win when he was in Portland? I think he did, but he was comfortable where he was.
Yes.
Is Giannis, could Giannis go somewhere else? How's it looking in Milwaukee right now?
Well, he wants to win.
Go somewhere else, but
it blew up the team.
I don't think it's fair to say if LeBron stays in LA where it doesn't look, I don't think they'll win a championship, that he doesn't want to win.
So
like, is anybody saying that about Steph?
So that Brew, once again, even though you do all your prep in a hideaway and never talk to us, we're on the same page. I have written down
on here in the show.
So let me ask you this question, Wildes.
Go.
Because you don't think, I don't want to speak for you, you don't think it's his top priority?
I think it's a fair question that he's not, winning is not number one, and I think it probably shouldn't be, to be honest with you.
So here's my question. If we're being just totally fair and logical here, does every player in the league who signs for $1 more than the minimum show you that winning is not their single most important priority?
No, I think you should get all the money.
No.
He should get the max. He's a max player. He should get the max.
Okay. All right. Well, but then LeBron or anyone else that is, but it's not their top priority.
No, I want to play along, but I just throw that in the garbage.
Okay,
like it'd be better for the show if we all made nothing, so we could hire more people.
Don't even throw that out.
Okay. We're not in the cap. I feel different about baseball and TV shows than I do the league.
I don't think LeBron should make the minimum.
Okay, all right.
But I think it's fair to say the guy has several interests in LA, including being a great dad, and running a business and doing all this other stuff.
Okay, with that said, let me ask you this question. And I'm not trying to put you in the jackpot. I'm just really trying to using you as an avatar for this thought exercise. If the day before LeBron's decision to opt out of his deal and become a free agent, if Anthony Davis retired, do you think he would stay with the Lakers? Because I don't. Because I think that if Anthony Davis retired, winning with the Lakers would be impossible. Yeah. So I think that there is now. Do I want him to stay with the Lakers? No. I know, Brew, you might have some places he could go. We can get into that. But I think that it is a priority. But if it were his top singular priority, do you know what he should do? Sign with Denver in the spot that's going to be vacated by KCP. Would you think that's a good idea?
I'd refuse to play along with the idea that he should take anything less than be compensated for anything.
Let me ask you this.
Okay, well, let's just okay. So let's I don't
want to be difficult.
I got you. So let's say he could sign a contract, do a sign and trade with Denver in the Michael Porter Jr. slot. Would you think that that is something he should do? Because I wouldn't. That would be, if winning is the only thing that matters, that would make sense. I don't think anyone would feel good about that.
No.
And LeBron's not the only star player that wouldn't do that.
Right.
Paul George, if he doesn't go to Philly and he stays with the Clippers maybe for a little less money, does that mean where they're not going to win a championship? Does that mean he doesn't want to win?
I mean, kind of.
Really?
Yeah.
There are no players that make moves like that.
To try to go all in and win a championship?
No players just I'm not talking about
it's considered ring chasing, but it happens.
I'm not talking about Paul George in Philadelphia. I'm just saying players make decisions. It's never just win.
Okay, when LeBron went to Miami.
When you are a star player, guess what you want to be?
What?
A star player.
Kevin Durant joined the Warriors, wanted to win a championship.
Yes. Yeah, but
when LeBron leaves his hometown team and goes to Miami, and gets Chris Bosh, he wanted to win a championship.
Yes.
Neither of them had won yet.
That's what I'm saying.
One, and there was pressure on both of them to get championships.
And now there's not. So now winning is not the top priority.
LeBron wouldn't have won any. I'm just saying, because players don't just leave and, like he said, go to Denver. That's where, or any team like Milwaukee. Go to Milwaukee if you really want to win. It's not fair to say he don't want to win. He could go play with Giannis and Dame. He won't do it.
I think, Wildes, unintentionally, we've stumbled upon why I think this can be such a frustrating conversation for the actual athletes involved.
I buy that.
Because your example of those two guys that clearly prioritize, I'm still going to be, the 1 or 1A, but give myself the best chance to win. Those two moves were, one, highly criticized in the moment, LeBron leaving the Cavs over to the Heat. The other one, people are still mad about.
Sure.
Kevin Durant literally replying to tweets about it this morning. It was 8 years ago that he did it. So that perfect, you know what I mean, thread the needle. The point I'm making about, just, you've made all the money in the world, take the minimum and sign with whichever team's the best. Nobody really feels like that's a fair standard.
Yeah.
And even the Giannis example of Giannis was totally focused on winning under the circumstances of guys are coming to me. This is the moves being made. It was not trade me specifically to this team.
Right.
But if he had done that, he would be criticized for it.
Yeah.
If LeBron or Giannis this past summer had been like, this ain't going to work here in Milwaukee anymore, trade me to Miami. They've got a good foundation. I would fit. Well, he'd be criticized. So there's no real perfect way to thread the needle. And then the hope is that you can stay in one place a la Steph and then have guys come to you or your team develop and nobody thinks you're sacrificing winning. But I would argue right now, this moment, Steph Curry's top priority by this standard is not winning.
Right.
By this standard.
Would you accuse Steph of not wanting to win?
I think it's a fair question.
Right.
It's fair to ask Steph, does Steph want to win? Because he wants to finish his career with Golden State, whether or not they win the championship or not.
I want to win with the Warriors and the Warriors only. It would be a fair answer. And I think if LeBron can be a fair answer, I want to finish my career here. I want to win with the Lakers. Is a fair way to slice the apple.
Right.
I think that's the case for both of them.
And again, I think what you're saying is reasonable, and I think it's what a lot of people believe. So I'm not trying to, I don't think other ones.
It's kind of what Dame said. Dame wanted to win, but we all raised our hand like, dude, you can't win in Portland.
Right, which is why I brought up the Anthony Davis factor, because I do think there is also a factor in this of like the delusion of the great athlete, which is I think that LeBron believed going into these playoffs, we can win the championship. Not that we're likely to, not that we're the favorites, but you know what? If me and AD stay healthy and play the way we can, we could win the championship.
Puncher's chance.
So, right. And so that's why
we thought only a few teams were ahead of them.
So, now maybe we feel differently now. Yeah. But the point, that's why I brought up if AD were to retire and LeBron were to then re-sign with the Lakers, he would be signaling, even though I can't win here, you know what I mean? I'm okay with it. I think that as long as AD's there, even if I don't want him with the Lakers, he goes into a season saying, we'll see. Well, I'd be playing better than Jason Tatum in these finals, I'll tell you that much right now. Put me in the finals. See how I'm doing against any defense. I think if you're
LeBron, you think, I can get 16 wins.
I can get 16 wins.
I can do it.
Yeah.
I don't care who's around me. I can still do it. Yeah. So I buy that. When you guys agree, all of a sudden I got to be the bad guy. I agree with it. I'm like, it's priority of a father and a businessman. It's all there. You guys are like, you don't like LeBron? I'm like, no. All right, back to the finals. Celtics released a bunch of medical jargon for an update on Kristaps' injury that says he suffered, and I'm going to try my best here, a medial retinculum allowing dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon. Yep. What's the point of releasing this if you're releasing it to the media?
So the thing that happened is there's a seat belt around your ankle tendons, and that thing got loose, and one of his ankle tendons is now hurt. And one of Brew's favorite doctors on Twitter said he's not playing the rest of the series.
Here's Joe Mazzulla on his take. Okay. I mean, Brew, he did say he was going to willing to die on the court. So
no, and that's why they're taking a decision, not that he would die, but that's why they're taking a decision out of his hands. We don't want you to hurt yourself. We're going to protect you from yourself. And Mazzulla said it is a serious injury. Day-to-day doesn't sound like a serious injury, but Joe Mazzulla just said it's a serious injury. I would definitely, I mean, look, I've been examined him, not that I would know what I was doing if I did, but I think he should sit tomorrow. He should sit tomorrow.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I mean, he should sit tomorrow. Yeah. You never give up a finals game. Look, they could win without him.
Yeah.
All right, so I'd sit him tomorrow and see if maybe he can get out there Friday.
So I think this is a big deal in two different ways. One is sometimes. So let me give you an example. LeBron, when Draymond got suspended, went out and dropped a 40-point double-double, and then the very next game with Draymond back, he dropped a 41-point double-double. He had very similar games back with and without Draymond. So I think LeBron in that series was going to be excellent the rest of the way either way. I can't prove it, I believe it. But I think the other guys got a shot in the arm of, oh, this series might switch. They got more faith and more belief. So I think that I think it's a big deal because I think the Mavs needed something emotionally to give them a sense, you know what? The status quo is different. Because through 2 games, the Celtics have looked like the far better team.
You know, so a little shot in the heart. You're saying they need a little more heart.
I'm not. I think that was important. Yesterday, you said Brew and I went to man mode.
I know,
not
but
the Mavs.
you took it to another level.
And so that's the first point. The second point is, I do think it is on the board that it's not just a what. If you are ruled day to day on Tuesday, the idea that you're definitively playing Friday, which is Game 4, is clearly a big question mark. And while the Celtics have 5 excellent starters and a good guy off the bench in Horford, because of his age and the use, he's already had these playoffs because Porziņģis is out, is diminishing returns, and I don't trust anybody after that. So if now all of a sudden Horford's playing, you don't have a bench I trust. You don't have a backup big that you've been playing in these finals. That to me is a big deal. It's a big deal.
The only thing I'll say, and I covered those series when LeBron 2016, when Draymond got hurt. I do think that was the difference in the series. Gave them a real boost. It was like, oh, we get this one, then we go back home. I hope the Mavs aren't thinking that way. Down 2-0 is different than down 3-1.
Of course.
You lost 2 on the road. You're now at home. Like, their mentality should be like, man, we don't care who's playing. We're going to take care of our business. And I hope they're not like, oh, Porziņģis is out. Because that tells me you feel like you couldn't beat him with him. So I just hope that they're like faces like a flint regardless of Porziņģis.
Okay, pretty good.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.